This episode of Power Women of the Trades is also brought to you by Forrest Perry of Forrest Perry Digital Marketing. Want to generate more leads for your service business? Trust his team to deliver quality new customer leads and protect your brand online. Check out perrymarketing.com today.
Most businesses' online presence is boring, and by being boring, they're losing out on potential sales and customers. Being interesting and exciting is what draws customers in and gets them to buy from you. But it's hard to be interesting online when you're focused on running your business and taking care of your customers. It doesn't have to be this way. We have the key to unlocking the solution to your problem. Key Heart Marketing can help take your business from boring to brilliant on social media. We can vouch for them. They run our podcast socials. If you want to have a strong social media presence that allows customers to know, like, and trust you, connect with Key Heart Marketing at keyheartmarketing.com.
Hey everyone, this is Eric Thomas with Rival Digital, and I am proud to announce that we are the newest sponsor for the Power Women of the Trades podcast. We've been a big fan and supporter of the show for years, and we are just very excited and very honored for the opportunity to now be one of the podcast sponsors. So make sure you check out their page and subscribe to the podcast and listen in on wherever you get your podcast episodes from. Rival Digital is a full-service premier digital marketing agency for the home services industry. We offer everything from website design, search engine optimization, online advertising, public relations, and more. If you're interested in learning more about the services we offer for contractors just like yourself, head on over to rivaldigital.com, and we look forward to chatting with you.
Welcome to Power Women of the Trades podcast. This show is all about breaking barriers and changing the game. Our guests will feature some of today's most successful female entrepreneurs and other advocates of our industry as well. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, female-led entrepreneurship drives change on multiple levels. We want to empower women in the trade industry like you so you can maximize your potential, stay balanced, achieve long-term success, and claim ownership over your life. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Power Women of the Trades podcast with Cassie and Kailee.
Hey.
Today we have Alyssa Rogers with Rogers Heating and Cooling. Alyssa, where's that at? Where are you from?
In the big town of South Boston, Virginia.
Virginia.
Yes, rural Virginia.
You know, isn't it funny how sometimes you like make up where people are from?
Yeah. Where would you think I was from?
I swear I thought it was Indiana.
Okay.
That's why I said, where are you from? Because I was positive. It's so funny. Like I don't know. I'm a little geographically challenged in general. I'm dumb. I get Wyoming and Washington mixed up. I'll have to think like, wait, where's Washington? So anyways, that's me being from Oklahoma. And I was like, until getting really like involved in this industry, I didn't do a lot of traveling. So
yeah, it's like whenever we went to South Carolina and we were like, we're by a beach.
Yeah, we were in Charleston, and then Steph was like, and this is the beach or whatever, and we were like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Like we had flown there, like we never once looked at the map. That's so funny. So anyways, well, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So tell us about Rogers Heating and Cooling, and you have a lot of cool stuff going on, for sure.
Yeah, so Rogers Heating and Cooling is in South Boston, Virginia. It is a very small rural town, and Joey, my husband, and I grew up in South Boston, and he was introduced to the trades through his dad, who owned Rogers Electrical and Air Controls, is what it was when Joey was growing up. And Joey found a love for the trades and at 12 years old. And so a lot of the same story as others in the industry, grew up in it. He went to school for it. He worked in commercial train for a few years after graduating. And then he decided he wanted to take over the family business. And that's when I came in. I was working in corporate America. I wanted to grow the corporate ladder. I know a lot of people don't say that, but I was one of those that loved corporate America. I loved knowing what my path would be. And so I was doing that until he came home one day and said, okay, I want to take over the family business. I had experience in marketing, and I need it to change from Rogers Electrical and Air Controls to something else. And so that is the brand you see behind me today, Rogers Heating and Cooling. I joined in 2018, and we took over in January 1 of 2018 and formed Rogers Heating and Cooling, and have grown it from 2 employees to 40 today, and with aspirations of growing it even bigger than you see what it is today.
That's awesome. So when you first joined and came on with him, you're saying, so like he took over what size at that point was the company?
So his dad always ran it just himself and a couple of helpers. And then when Joey came on, he joined in 2015. And so he spent a few years in the business, kind of learning the business side. He had always done kind of the technical side and gone to school for that. And so he kind of shadowed his dad for a few years to learn the business side. And they started growing a little bit. But when I started, we were at $600,000 in revenue. It was a very small company. And so when we changed the name and added the brand to the business, because it was a white truck and before that. And so we just have really done everything we can to invest in people and give back to the community. And I truly believe that's how we've grown it from the 600,000 and a couple employees to the over 40 we have today.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So what does your day-to-day look like now? Like, how's it evolved over time?
It has evolved so much. When we started, Joey was in the field and he was taking care of the service calls. And like I said, I left corporate America where there was a ton of structure. And so I, set up my little office space, and I said, okay, Joey, what do I do now? And he's like, you figure it out. So I like, okay. So I answered the phone, I dispatched, I learned the finances, I did the marketing, I did everything behind the scenes in the office while he was in the field. And then over time, of course, I was able to hire our first CSR and then dispatch. And so I'm so lucky to have the help that I have today, but of course it didn't start there. And so today I mainly focus on the overall strategy for the business and the brand. I still focus heavily on marketing. I still hold the finance piece of the business. And so that is one of the areas. It's funny, when I started, I had my MBA and, went to college and all of that. But every finance class I had throughout that journey, I would cry every single day and just like try to get through it. And I was like a creative marketing person. And then when joining the business, he's like, okay, so you're going to take over the finances now.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm so bad at this. And he's like, well, you're going to get really good at it. So, and here I am 8 years later, still doing the finances for the business. We do have AR and AP, but I kind of oversee all of it. And honestly, I'm really thankful for it because I've learned so much over the last 8 years and really learned to love it a little more. I'm not going to say entirely, but I've learned a lot and have a respect for it more than I did. So marketing, finance, and then overall strategy for Rogers.
It's finance, the finance piece of it. It's like this, I can relate to that. Like, you don't want to do it, but like you have to, because even if you have the staff, you as the owner, you have to have the knowledge to be able to hold them accountable, but also know where the hell your money's going and all of those things.
Exactly.
Right?
And I'm such a realist. And so I love being able to have real numbers, like they don't lie. And so I can go into meetings really confidently and knowing exactly where we are and what we can and can't do as a business.
Right. I think that being able to like truly understand that and being able to like trust yourself on what you can leverage and what you can't was probably what helped us propel our growth, just because I was able to like be like, I get it. But I think sometimes that I, not coming from a specific financial background, I don't have a college degree, I don't know all that, that I learned through just like the real world, but I'm also more of a gambler than most people with financial experience. Yeah. Right.
I find I'm so different. It's very hard because I'm telling you, like, I do the marketing and the finance is like my primary role. And I can find that it's hard sometimes because I can see where we are financially, and it's like, well, maybe we shouldn't take this risk over here. Maybe we shouldn't do this. And so I'm very lucky to have Joey because he is definitely that gambler, that risk taker. Like, let's do it. We'll figure out the finances later kind of guy. And here I am in the corner, like, no, we can't afford it. But we always
I'm always like, we'll figure it out, and we always do.
Yeah.
But I mean, and we've definitely like had people that's worked here that didn't feel that way, or would be like, or and sometimes Oscar even will be like, what?
I am more like Oscar. You are more like Joey.
If you build it, they will come, and they always have. So we just figured it out. But okay, so one of the things, like with the notes that you gave us, I wanted to talk to you about was, okay, so what do you, when you talk about like building your core team, what does that mean to you?
So in the beginning, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like, I knew nothing. I'm like, oh, you're a great person. You can do this. We had no structure. Like, come on board. We'll figure it out together. And they would start, and I would just tell them, like, look, I'm doing this, this, and this. Just help me. I just need your help. And it got to a point where it got out of control really quickly because no one knew what they were supposed to be doing. And as we got bigger, I, started kind of identifying roles, and you have to kind of take things from people and give it to someone else. And they would get upset. Like, I've been doing this. Why are you taking this? I'm like, well, you probably shouldn't be doing this. Like, this doesn't really make sense for your role now. And we lost people. And I'm not proud of it, but it's just part of the journey. And so I always say, like, there were a few in there that I feel like were the ones that got away. That I feel like if I was a more mature leader at that time and business owner, they'd still be here today. And so I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, okay, I have to get better as a leader. I have to be the person that people actually want to work with. And so I started really evaluating job responsibilities, the roles that we truly needed in the organization, and then really invested in who would come on board. So something that we learned along the way is it's really important to know what people's goals are. We're very goal driven here. We talk about the vision of Rogers and where we want Rogers to be, but we have to know where everyone in the company wants to be too, so we can help them get there and they can help us get to where we want to be. So I started doing an exercise with everyone that comes on board, and it's their personal, professional, and financial goals. And I know that for every person in the organization, and that's on a 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year run. And I work through it with them. There are many people that come in and they're like, no one's ever asked me this. I don't know where I'm going to be in 3 years. How do I determine what that's going to be? And so I work through it with them, and I help them achieve it. I help them, work through what they want to see. We celebrate what they want to grow into. And it's really helped us retain employees, and it's really helped us grow the organization because we're all in this together and achieving goals together. So that's been really important to me in building a team over the years.
Isn't it funny? Like, we had those same experiences and still sometimes I think it's one of those things that'll happen forever when you take a job duty away from someone, it's immediately like offended.
Yes.
And I'm like,
I'm just trying to help you.
Calm down. Like, I'm not lying to you when I'm telling you you're doing nothing wrong. But like, how can you do all of these things now? Because it was manageable with 40 people, but it's not manageable now with 90. And oh my gosh, it doesn't get better. Let me just tell you.
Thank you for letting me know. I mean, I'm saying all of this, and of course, we're not perfect. We have tried to make it better over the years, but I do understand. I'm like, okay, this is where we are today, but I know it's going to all change. So tell me, what do I need to
No,
look out for?
I think that it doesn't get better. It does get better as far as like, we don't have people that necessarily leave because of that, but we do have people like, I think it's like an identity crisis because Kaylee's even
I was about to
experienced this.
say, I've experienced this personally because as we've grown, my role has evolved. And so Cassie's like, okay, you can't handle this piece anymore. So like, for example, whenever I first started at Quality, I was the social media and community coordinator. So all I did was social media. And social media was first thing that Cassie was like, okay, you can't do this anymore. And I was like, why? Like, am I doing, like, immediately I was like, am I doing something wrong? But she's just like, no, you just don't have the time to be able to manage it all and do it to what you expect to be able to do it, the like precision and to the extent you want it to be. So you have to pull back
because like
bit.
she's having like important meetings. She talks to every single one of our vendors. She holds them accountable to the like our performance, like if it's our fault or is it their fault, and she's having those both. So like, when do you have time to still like make the socials, and like you do great at it, and like I'm cool with her jumping in every now and then and making one instead of someone else that's doing it now. And like we have a video team now, but every once in a while she'll throw in a TikTok she made because she enjoys it. And so I want her to still do that if she can, but like she couldn't do it, like all of it. It's just too much. And so, I think it's definitely having the conversation of like, why, and then letting them be sad for a day. And then I'm like, get over it.
Yeah, I was sad at first. I was like, no,
you're going to have it back. But like, there was like, at one point she's like, well, I was working on that last night. And I'm like, stop working at night. Like, I'm not asking you to kill yourself. You are doing that, And so you have to realize. And so I think, you'll find that a lot with female leaders for sure. And then, with our team now, transparency's really helped them to understand. And when it's not so emotional,
you're right.
Still, it's like, okay, well, I've been doing that forever,
Yep. It's hard. I mean, I even go through it, as the company has evolved and, you hold on to things and you get really good and comfortable at them. And then it's like, okay, we have to hire someone for this now. I'm like, oh, really?
Oh, crap.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you're just like, So the other thing is like, one thing that I would say is you're like maybe the people that got away, but I would say that everybody that helps you grow in the beginning is not meant to stay because they can't always see the vision. Like, I can remember thinking back to like the original 10 people that worked with us back in the day, and I thought they would be here forever. And there's one.
Yeah.
And it's because like when we started like having a real time clock and they had to clock in and out, or we had like, House Call Pro back then, and they had to like fill out the ticket and like we had processes. We had a team that was great, but they didn't want to do that. And so, and most of those guys are like still in the trades, but like working for smaller companies that have less of those things. And that's fine. That's what they are going to be great at, right? That's what they want. And so I used to, think back and like, oh man, or whatever, but it's like, who got you here won't always get you there. And that sounds cold, but it's the reality.
It is. And like you said, they're still in the trades. And I think that was such I heard Joey say multiple times over the years, and I believe it to my core, it's a gut punch when they leave and they go somewhere else and they stay in the trades. It's like, what did we do wrong or whatever? You look at yourself. But at the same time, majority of our team came in with no HVAC experience. Like we are just training them and then they stay in the trades. Like how awesome is that to know that we provided them a skill set to be able to stay and really find value in what the trades are able to provide them, whether it's here or somewhere else. I think it's really cool.
I said this the other day and I was like, this goes against everything in my core. So hear the whole message. No one clip this unless you clip the entire thing. I want the youth to get into the industry, right? But it's, and I know that we are the gateway to get a lot of the youth into our industry. But I almost wish that sometimes those kids didn't come work for us until they were like 25 because we have such an opportunity now that they sometimes will burn. And then when they go and get the experience somewhere else, they're like, shit, you know? Like,
I know. I totally get it.
And I'm like, yeah, and you have made there's too much damage here. Once you left or once you did this and you behaved that way. And I know you were a kid, but like sometimes there's too much damage, right? And so, but we've had that where people have like, we taught them everything. They went somewhere else. They learned real quick that was all a facade. But then, out the door, they were running their mouth and doing this or that. And it's like, you can't fix that.
It's tough. We deal with it here too.
Yeah. And so, but you're exactly right. Like we came back around that same way of just like, what an honor that we provided. Like they had zero experience. They have zero debt for college. They learned everything here. And, down the road, we used to take it so personal and be like, what the heck? And now it's just like, okay, it is what it is,
Yep.
So good way to look at it for sure.
This has been Power Women of the Trades. Like what you hear so far? Leave us a review at Apple and make sure to listen to our other episodes wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.